What are the best Blackadder episodes? 26 have been broadcast on British TV in the form of 4 series and 2 specials. There are so many fantastic moments and scenes that make up this classic British comedy. This list will present the top 10 episodes based on thousands of reviews by viewers on imdb.com. Let's begin. Number 10 is episode 2 of series 2, and it sees Edmund Blackadder getting appointed Lord High Executioner by Queen Elizabeth. It's not exactly a role that he wants, particularly as it has its own high mortality rate, and Blackadder's life hangs by a thread after Queenie insists on a distraught wife meeting her jailed husband, a man who has actually already been executed. Otherwise, Edmund will be killed.
May flights of angels sing you to your rest.
Yes, I'm sure they will.
This episode is clever as well as dark and twisted, so thoroughly deserves its high ranking. Jumping to Blackadder Goes 4 for entry 9 is the third episode of the 4 series Major Star. Blackadder is always looking for ways to leave the trenches, and he sees the perfect opportunity by taking the job of organising a variety show. Hilarious parts of this episode include Baldrick's impersonation of Charlie Chaplin, and George's flamboyant alter ego, Georgina.
I feel fantastic!
But when General Melchett suddenly falls in love with a certain character, Blackadder has a predicament. The very first episode of Series 2, that follows the disappointing Series 1, introduces a very memorable character name.
Bob!
Bob, short for Kate, is masking her true identity to earn money for her father by taking the role of Blackadder's manservant. But Edmund falls in love with her, yet he doesn't understand why. But before long, Bob can't hold her secret for any longer, and reveals all to Blackadder.
Good Lord.
Rik Mayal also makes his impactful Blackadder debut as Lord Flashheart. In Series 4's Private Plane, we again see Rik Mayal as Flashheart. In this episode, Captain Blackadder, Lieutenant George and Private Baldrick decide to join the Royal Flying Corps as a way to leave the trenches and increase their chances of surviving the war. But Lord Flashheart is Squadron Commander, so this episode is filled with Rik's trademark outlandish performances, stealing every scene he's in.
The average life expectancy for a new pilot is 20 minutes!
Life expectancy.
Perhaps they should have stayed in the trenches. The last episode of Blackadder III is Stephen Fry returned to the sitcom as the monstrous Duke of Wellington.
Take my hat at once, sir, unless you wish to feel my boot in your throat, and be quicker about it than you were with the door.
Who is back from war in Europe. Meanwhile, Blackadder meets his Scottish cousin, McInnerny. Seeing Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie again share a screen together was delightful, especially knowing their real-life friendship and the shows they both starred in the 1990s. No more is this the case than when both Blackadder and the Duke let off some steam at George's expense. Duel and duality was a perfect end to this period of Blackadder. In this episode from Series 2, Blackadder finds himself in a sticky dilemma after agreeing to host a drinking party to prove to Lord Melchett he's not a lightweight, while also having 2 wealthy relatives, Lord and Lady Whiteadder, come to visit the same evening to discuss his inheritance. Desperate to please both parties, Blackadder cunningly switches between them throughout, trying his utmost to avoid one knowing about the other. But as expected, it turns into a complete farce.
I trust you have invited no other guests?
Oh, certainly not.
Good!
This is Hugh Laurie's first appearance in Blackadder, and Miriam Margolyes' second, with both delivering fun performances. Ink and incapability is definitely the best of Series 3. Robbie Coltraine plays Dr. Samuel Johnson, who wishes for the ignorant Prince George to become patron for his new dictionary. However, the prince, who prefers books with heroes and villains, is completely nonplussed by Johnson's 10 years of work.
I may be as thick as a whale omelette, but even I know a book's gotta have a plot.
But after Baldrick apparently burns the manuscript, Blackadder finds himself with an impossible task to rewrite it before Johnson returns. One of the highlights of this episode is the constant back and forth between Johnson and Blackadder, as they try to outdo each other intellectually.
I hope you will not object if I also offer the Doctor my most enthusiastic contrafibularities.
Number 3. After George is injured and goes to hospital, Captain Blackadder is awarded 3 weeks out of the trenches in exchange for detecting the hospital's German spy, much to his delight.
And if you come back with the information, Captain Darling will pump you thoroughly in the debriefing room.
Could it be the patient who speaks with a heavy German accent?
9! 9?
Or someone else? This episode has the return of Blackadder favourite Miranda Richardson, who plays the fanciable Nurse Mary. Edmund, of course, spends some quality time with her. It's a must-watch episode that takes the viewer on a fun, intriguing journey to discovering the spy. Now at number 2, and we truly see what lengths Blackadder would go to avoid marching from the trenches.
Schnell, schnell, Kartoffelkopf!
He shot a carrier pigeon. Unfortunately for him, the pigeon was none other than Speckled Jim, General Melchit's one true love.
I don't care if he's been rogering the Duke of York with a prize-winning leak. He shot my pigeon!
So Blackadder is put on trial, and the judge is General Melchit himself. The trial and their memorable scenes after are full of clever dialogue that really reveal Ben Elton and Richard Curtis's masterful writing. That's not to take away from the fabulous performances either, in particular the men who play the jolly firing squad that meet Edmund towards the end.
Any particular area you'd like us to go for? We can aim anywhere.
Well, in that case, just above my head might be a good spot.
Ah yes, this had to be number 1. Goodbye is the last episode of Series 4, and therefore the last ever episode until the special in 2000. In a last-ditch attempt to avoid the big push, Blackadder tries but fails to pretend to be mad. But there's no avoiding the suicidal charge towards the German gunfire that awaits the brave soldiers.
Don't forget your stick, Lieutenant.
Right there, sir. Wouldn't want to face a machine gun without this.
It's hard not to feel emotional while watching this episode, particularly during the big finale when the characters meet their inevitable outcome. It's a perfectly poignant conclusion to a classic British comedy that stays respectful to the millions that wastefully had their lives cut short. It would be difficult to find another show with a more rightful ending. It's truly the best finish to any British show. So what are your favourite Blackadder episodes? Do you agree with this list? Are there any episodes that you think should be ranked higher or even lower? Share your thoughts in the comments. And take a look at the channel for a lot more Blackadder and other classic sitcom videos. Finally, congratulations to the latest caption competition winner. Thanks for watching and cheerio!